Hello friends, this is Scott, and this video was taken back at the end of October when I finally got around to planting my garlic. I had so many other projects going on with the hobby farm and the school garden, and I just didn't get around to planting my garlic until about 3 weeks later than I usually do. I always plant my garlic in this raised container. I always have my own special mix of compost and other ingredients, secret ingredients, and I have never had a failed garlic crop. Planting garlic by early October gives the garlic time to actually root out and start sprouting up. And then it overwinters just kind of sitting there while the snow's laying on it and burying it, and then it unmelts and then freezes again and melts and freezes again, and the garlic doesn't seem too worse for wear. But I kind of always thought that maybe that was a little stressful for the garlic, and maybe I would have better heads if I just planted them later so they didn't come up and then they weren't affected. The tops wouldn't be affected by all the freezing, thawing, and all the temperature issues. So that was the experiment, planting 3 weeks later and seeing what the impact was on the garlic and whether it was better for the garlic and whether I could grow bigger heads. That's what my experiment was all about. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how it's supposed to go and how it, every year it's always been kind of this way. I always plant early October, and things seem to work out just fine. But now I'm going to kind of give you a snapshot view of what really happens during the growing season from when you plant garlic in the fall. By late October, early November, this is what you start to see. You start to see the garlic poking up through, which means it's got an established root structure going already. And I always mulch the garlic in well with either straw or leaves, just so that it's protected and hopefully keep the temperature kind of the same. But this is kind of what you expect in November, early November, that the garlic looks like this, and usually looks like it's doing really well. By December, we've had a few snowstorms that have flattened down the garlic a little bit here and there, but they usually melt off, and this is kind of what December usually looks like. A pretty good growth. The plants are literally 6 to 8 inches high. But this is where I was kind of thinking with the experiment that maybe if we didn't have these leaves already leafed out and have all this winter weather beating them up, maybe they would be doing better in the long run for bulb production. So yeah, there's still some sprouting up at that time of the year. They're a little slow, but not everything's up at the same rate, but they're usually pretty big in December. Then by January and February, we're usually buried, and they stay pretty buried. As you see, the tips sticking up through the snow, and the snow doesn't seem to hurt them. They get a little bit yellowed on the ends, but nothing real big. And then, late February, early March, as we're starting to thaw out again, you can see kind of the winter damage happening to the garlic, but they're still green, and they're not looking the healthiest, but they're hanging in there. They look like they're going to survive, and they always do, it seems like. And as they come out of it, it's only a couple months and they'll be bulbing up. I mean, literally 1st of June or the first week of June is when we harvest garlic here in Utah when I plant them in the fall. So, it doesn't take much for these plants. As soon as the weather warms, they just, shape right up and look healthy and get moving toward their growth. By early April, the garlic looks like this generally, and it's looking healthier, and it's starting to sprout back up, and that's about the same time of the year last year. That's how the garlic looked. So today is April 20th, and I expect my garlic to look like this in my bed, and I'm wondering if the experiment, how it went, whether or not planting 3 weeks later had any impact on the garlic, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. So here's the next view as we're going to see what happened, and this is April 20th, and it looks like I just killed all my garlic almost. Yeah. They didn't do well. Nothing came up. And again, I don't know if the experiment's still continuing and the garlic is just being slow and we'll get ready to roll. There's one that came up, looks like. As you can see what garlic is, garlic leaves are always flat with a little bit of a ridge in them, whereas this is just a volunteer onion and it's round. So that's how you tell the difference between garlic and onions when you see the tops. But I want to see what's still going on down below. There's some little onions too that look like they overwintered. I didn't get everything picked, but I want to see what's actually happened under the soil and just see, what's really going on here. Here's the first bulb I come up with. I'm just going to dig up a small section, and you see no root growth at all, and it looks like it's kind of freeze-dried. So I'll put that back. I don't know if it'll grow at all, but we'll see. I'm going to dig up a little area and just see what's happened to the majority of these bulbs. And I planted them like every 3 or 4 inches, so there's some that clearly have rotted away. Here's another one, no root growth, and the top started to sprout, but looks, again, freeze-dried. Here's another one. And same thing. So I think I killed all my garlic by waiting too long. I think it's very important for the garlic, it looks like, to establish its root system and get growing, and then just overwinter in a growing state versus trying to overwinter in just a bulb state. It didn't seem to be doing too good. Again, not a scientific method, but I won't plant my garlic this late again, and I think it'll be a safer bet to be back in early October. Well, thanks for watching this video, and if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Thank you.